Hey guys, welcome to Comic Basics. I'm Joel, and today's episode, the top 10 most feared Nova enemies of all time. But before we get to that, if after watching the video you like what you saw, please hit that subscribe button. As of this video, Nova is the most anticipated character to have yet to debut in the MCU. Fans have clamored for him to make an appearance since the Guardians of the Galaxy made theirs. This is so much that when the Guardians appeared on Xandar, we all asked the same question: where's Nova? Now that Phase 3 is about to wrap up, Marvel is gearing up to unleash a whole new set of films. Nova will hopefully be one of them. I hope that it's okay with you, but in anticipation of his big screen debut, I took the liberty of putting together a list of his most important enemies. Most, as you'll see, aren't your everyday Marvel villains. Instead, most are loyal, as far as loyal enemies go, to Nova. Anyway, without further ado, I present to you the top 10 most feared Nova enemies of all time. Annihilus and his Annihilation Wave were responsible for the destruction of Xandar and the Nova Corps. After the wave destroyed Xandar and the Nova Corps, Richard Rider was imbued with the entirety of the Nova Force and the world mind. With it, he became arguably the most powerful man in the cosmos. Aside from giving Richard Rider unbelievable power, Annihilus is the ruler of the Negative Zone. As its ruler, he wields the Cosmic Control Rod. With it, he's given a set of superpowers that many only dream of. If you think that Annihilus is an enemy of the Fantastic Four and Annihilation didn't happen, I'd probably agree with you. But it did happen. Therefore, I can't agree with you. Galactus is the devourer of worlds. This means that he travels from world to world and planet to planet, feeding on its energy. Once devoid of energy, he leaves whichever planet he's on and makes his way to the next one. To be able to feed on entire planets must mean that Galactus possesses immeasurable power, and he does. Galactus is immortal, invulnerable, can bestow others with incredible power, is able to come back from the dead, project energy, and of course, drain energy. If it seems like a cop-out to place Thanos on this list, understand that all cosmic beings are enemies to Thanos. Therefore, Thanos is one of Nova's enemies. Although he helped turn the tide of the Annihilation event, Thanos is a supremely evil character. Not only is he physically superior to most beings around him, intelligent beyond imagination, and an offshoot of the Eternals, Thanos, at times, and with the help of the Infinity Gauntlet, is immensely powerful. With the Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos instantly becomes one of the most feared beings in all of Marvel. Apox is an Omega Skrull created as a result of genetic experimentation. He was made to be the ultimate weapon for the Skrulls. Unfortunately, shortly after his creation, he killed those responsible for his being. And why? The experimentation caused him to become vastly superior to all those around him. This made Apox view himself as a god. When his creators refused to bow and see him as such, he killed them. As an Omega Skrull, Apox is able to tap into the power cosmic, travel to the deepest parts of space, and exist in worlds and areas that very few can. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, Blastar first appeared in 1962. He, like many other of Marvel's most powerful creatures, hails from the Negative Zone. Blastar is a member of the Blurian race and was, at one point, its ruler. Unfortunately, those whom he ruled rose up and overthrew him. Once overthrown, Blastar was locked inside a containment suit and sent adrift through the Negative Zone. Archibald Diker grew up as a troubled child from Southampton. As a child, he was always causing mischief and getting into situations that most would deem inappropriate. Worse yet, as he grew, so too did his desire for more. This was so much that he eventually turned a promising life as a body champion into a life of thievery. Things changed for Archibald during an attempt to steal a precious stone. While stealing the stone, he got caught up in a laser. As a byproduct of the laser, his body was transformed into a diamond-like substance, and he became incredibly strong. With his new powers, the now called Diamond Head set out to make a name for himself. That is, until he was defeated by Nova. Making his initial appearance inside the pages of Nova number 2, Powerhouse has become one of Nova's greatest enemies. Powerhouse was a member of the Nova Corps, who, after being sent on a mission, was caught in a meteor shower. The meteor shower made contact with the ship and sent him falling to the Earth. After crash landing on Earth, he was found by Condor and brainwashed into attacking the Nova Corps. As one of the greatest Nova enemies, Powerhouse has a pretty incredible power set. He possesses superhuman strength, can absorb the energy from most sources, thereby increasing his own strength, can absorb the energy from an attack and redirect it back at his opponent, and create a psionic link with his enemy, which allows him to control them and their powers. Originally, Dr. Sun was a brilliant scientist who worked for the People's Republic of China. While working, he created a program that allowed the human brain to be successfully transplanted and supported by a life support system. After being sentenced to death, it was decided that Dr. Sun was to be subjected to his own experiment. The experiment was a resounding success, and not only did his brain survive, but it was also transplanted into a robot. When the brain was linked to a computer's bank, Dr. Sun gained psionic abilities. He then attacked the doctors responsible and left China. Like many others on this list, Sphinx first appeared during Nova's initial run. Sphinx was created by Marv Wolfman and Sal Buscema and debuted in Nova number 6. Anath-Na-Mut was a magician in the court of the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II. Beaten in a duel of magic by Moses, Anath-Na-Mut was banished to the desert, never to be heard from again. Or so it seemed. Eventually, Mut stumbled across the Ka stone, and the stone granted him immortality and other powers. Now immortal, he aimlessly wandered the earth for thousands of years, saddened by the thought that he would have to wander forever. After hearing of a human given incredible power by the Xandarians, he drew the conclusion that the machine might be the way to end his immortality. Garthon Saul is a former Nova Corps member who, after controlling the entire power of the Nova Corps, grew to an incredible size and was driven mad. After returning from the time stream, Saul learned that a small amount of the Nova Force still existed and did so inside the human Richard Ryder. Furious that Ryder, who he deemed unworthy, was given the entirety of the Nova Force, Saul ventured to Earth and successfully drained Ryder of his power, nearly killing them. As a former and now again member of the Nova Corps, Garthon Saul possesses many of the same powers of the other members of the Nova Corps. This includes super strength, durability, flight, and both energy projection and absorption. And I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button. Thanks guys. Look, at the end of the day, I know there's a million YouTube channels out there, and for you to take a few minutes to watch one of my videos really does mean the world to me. And I can't thank you enough, but I'm going to try, so thank you. I hope you'll come back, and until then, I'll catch you next time.